At this point, we've got some scans in Nessus, and we want to take a look at those. So I'm going to log in now, and we're going to take a look at the scans that we've got and where we can go with the results that we have. So I'm in the results tab. It immediately takes me there. I've got some scan results. I'm going to pop this one up. And of course, it brings me to the hosts summary, and I've got the 3 hosts that I had scanned in this particular one. And we've got a nice little graphical breakdown of the vulnerabilities and the different classifications for them. But what I want to do is go to the vulnerabilities tab at this point. Now, I've got a number of Microsoft notifications here with some vulnerabilities in Windows XP. This is not surprising. I've got a Windows XP box that hasn't been patched in quite a long time, and these vulnerabilities are probably easily there. I could actually go in and log into the box and see whether the patch has been installed, or I could see whether Metasploit has an exploit against these, and I could test the exploit. That may be a way of double checking to see whether these vulnerabilities are really there or not. Because at the end of the day, you can't always trust the vulnerability scanner because it does rely on various things like banners and other types of signatures to determine whether a vulnerability exists or not. Now, some of these here, we've got like a Firefox vulnerability. This is a local vulnerability, and it may be one of those that you don't even want to report on necessarily, depending on what other mitigations are in place. In reality, we provided the credentials for this particular server, and Nessus was able to log in and just see whether there were packages that were outdated and whether there were any vulnerabilities that were attached to them. And it did find these. But in order to exploit these, you'd actually have to be on the box. So you'd have to be able to either log in regularly or find another way into the system in order to exploit those vulnerabilities. Now, there are some other ones down here I did want to take a look at. So we've got this SSL certificate cannot be trusted. SSL self-signed certificate. So I could actually follow up on this, and this is something I could easily do manually. I could do OpenSSL S-client. Host would be 172.30.42.55, and port is 443. So now OpenSSL has done the negotiation with the server, and we've got the certificate information back here. Looks like a TLS session, which seems okay. Let's take a look up here at the certificate itself. And it does say it's a self-signed certificate. So that is potentially a problem depending on what the reality of the situation is. That may be something that's worth taking a look at. It may in fact be a rogue server. So that may be something that you want to take a little bit of a closer look at. So going back to the Nessus results though, we've got a number of other SSL vulnerabilities potentially, and that's something that you may want to run SSL scan against. So this one says weak ciphers are supported. And we've got a list here of the ciphers on port 25. And it does say that there are weak ciphers are supported. You could double check it with SSL scan. This is going to be pretty reliable. It does have the ciphers listed here. And right here are the weak SSL ciphers. They have less than a 56-bit key. So when you go through a vulnerability scan set of results, you really need to make sure that you understand what the vulnerabilities are and whether they're real or not, because certainly they may not all be something that you need to be concerned with. So we're going to take a look at false positives coming up, but I did want to go through these results right now and just highlight the fact that you do need to check all of your results, because the vulnerability scanner, no matter what it is relying on information that may or may not be complete or even accurate.